Okay guys, today we're going to learn how to add rational numbers, and we're going to start off by learning how to add regular whole numbers and fractions. So our first problem is going to be 13 plus 3. Now I know that looks very simple, so what you can do, you can add it straight across. So if you go straight across, you'll get 16. If you don't want to add it straight across, you can write it underneath. And of course, we know that this is a 0. So when you add it, you'll get 3 plus 3 equals 6, and 1 plus 0 equals 1. Okay, let's move on to number 2. We have 12 plus 7. So if you want to, you can add straight across and you'll get 19. If you want to do it up and down, we know that this is a 0. So 7 plus 2, 9. 1 plus 0, 1. You get the same answer. All right? Let's move on. Number 3. We have 8 plus 6, which is really simple. It's just 14. And number 4, we're going to do simple 5 plus 5, in which we know is 10. So the reason why I'm going over these easy questions is just to make sure you guys still remember how to do it. Okay? All right, now let's get into some difficult ones. So I'm going to make this number 4. We have 9 over 7 plus 3 over 2. Now, when adding numbers with different denominators, which this is the denominator, I'm just going to put denominator, and then the top ones are the numerator. So the 9 and the 3 are your numerators, and the 7 and the 2 are your denominators. When you're adding numbers like this, you want to get a like denominator. So you want to have a common denominator. So you think, okay, well, how can I get a common denominator between 7 and 2? Well, we know that if you multiply 7 by 2, you get 14. And 14 is going to be your common denominator. So you go back over here and you think, well, what can I multiply 7 by to get 14? You can multiply it by 2. So whatever you multiply at the bottom, you have to multiply at the top. Okay, so we know that 9 times 2 is 18. You want to go ahead and write it here. Okay, so now we move on to the plus sign. Now you do the same for this one. You say, well, what can I multiply 2 by to get 14? You can multiply by 7. And like I said, whatever you multiply the bottom by, you want to multiply the top by as well. And so then you get 21. So once you add 18 plus 21, you get 39, and you bring down your denominator, it's 14. So that's how you do that one. Okay, let's move on to number 5. It's going to be the same way. So we have 3 over 2 plus 7 over 3. Now, as you can see, these do not have the same denominator. So what do we have to do? We have to get a like denominator or a common denominator. So let's think, what number can we divide both 3 and 2 into? And that number is 6. If you multiply 2 times 3, you'll get 6. So let's put 6 as our denominator. So now you have to go back over here. What can I multiply 2 by to get 6? You can multiply it by 3. And whatever you multiply the bottom by, you multiply the top by. So it's 3 times 3 is going to be 9. Bring over your plus sign because we're adding. And now you move on to this side. So this fraction is taken care of. Now we're going to move on over here. What can I multiply 3 by to get 6? I can multiply by 2. Whatever you multiply the bottom by, you want to multiply the top by. So 7 times 2 is going to give us 14. And we know that 9 plus 14 is 23. Then we just bring over our denominator, which is 6. And so that's how you work that problem. Now let's do some that have the same denominators. So our first one, let's call this number 6. Our first one is going to be 3 over 8 plus 2 over 8. Now, this one is really simple because they both have the same denominator. So when they both have the same denominator, you just bring it over. Now you only have to deal with the top. So let's write it like this. Okay, so we're gonna add it and we're gonna bring it over. So we know that 3 plus 2 is gonna give us 5. And you bring down your numerator, your denominator. So your answer is gonna be 5 over 8. Okay, let's do one more. Call this one number 7. So 2 over 9 plus 17 over 9. Now don't let a big number scare you. It's still the same way. You still do it the same way. It's still fairly simple. So, do we have a like denominator? Yes, both of our denominators are 9. So when they are the same, you simply bring it over. Now we're adding, so you bring over the addition. 2 plus 17. Okay, really simple. And then you go from here. So we know that 2 plus 17 is 19. You bring over your denominator to 9. So that is how you add basic rational numbers with whole numbers and fractions. Next, we will learn how to add and subtract rational numbers that have negatives.